You ever get that feeling that the screens we look at every day are kind of starting to look back? I mean, they're no longer just these static windows we stare into. They're changing, they're evolving, becoming these dynamic partners that actually shape themselves around us. Today, we're going to dive into how design is transforming our digital world from just a bunch of simple tools into, well, intelligent collaborators.
Okay, let's really think about this for a second. What if your music app just knew you were sitting down to focus and fired up the perfect deep work playlist? Or imagine your map app suggesting a detour before you even hit the traffic jam. This isn't science fiction anymore, you know? It's the big question that's driving all the major changes in user experience design right now. And here it is, the key takeaway, the big idea. We are officially leaving the era of one-size-fits-all design in the dust. The very concept of an interface is being flipped on its head. It's not a static canvas anymore. It's a living, breathing system that can adapt, anticipate what we need, and sometimes even act for us. So how is this actually happening? What's the engine making all this possible, taking us from static to living? Well, in a word, intelligence. And look, we're not just throwing around buzzwords here. Artificial intelligence is the real deal, the core tech that's making our screens truly come alive. This intelligence is what's fueling this trend called hyper-personalization. And the perfect example, one we all know, is Netflix. Think about it. It doesn't just recommend movies based on your watch history. It actually changes the movie thumbnails it shows you. If you're a big action fan, you might see an explosion. But if you're more into dramas, it'll show you an emotional close-up from the exact same film. The interface is literally reshaping itself just for you. But AI's impact is so much bigger than just what we see on the screen. It's actually changing how designers create these experiences. This is a huge shift. We're talking about a brand new partnership between human creativity and machine intelligence. Let's see just how big this has already gotten. And this number is just wild. A recent Lyssna survey found that a staggering 93% of designers are already using generative AI tools. We're talking ChatGPT, Midjourney, the works. This isn't some far-off futuristic trend. This is what's happening in the world of design right now. And when they look to the future, designers only see this collaboration getting stronger. 73% believe AI's biggest role will be as a creative partner, something that helps them, not replaces them. But hey, look at the second trend on that list, AI agents. This is a clue to the next big thing, moving from an AI that just answers questions to one that actually does things. And that brings us to what's called Agentic AI. So instead of you spending hours searching for the best flight, you'll just tell an AI agent your goal. Hey, find me the best deal to Tokyo sometime in the next 3 months. And that agent just goes to work for you in the background. It's a total shift from reactive to proactive, and well, it's going to require a whole new level of trust in our tech. Okay, so with all this incredible power and automation, we absolutely need some guardrails, right? As our interfaces get more complex, it is non-negotiable that they have to work for everyone. And that's where accessibility comes in. It's like the human-centered conscience guiding all this innovation. And I love this quote because it just nails it. Accessibility isn't some boring constraint that holds back creativity. No way. It's a catalyst for better, smarter, more thoughtful design. Just look at something like Microsoft Teams. It has live captions and high contrast modes built right into a super polished interface. It proves that great design is inclusive design. Let's make this really concrete. This is a core rule from the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG. All it says is the contrast between your text and its background has to be at least 4.5 to 1. Why? So people with visual impairments can actually read it clearly. It's a simple, measurable rule that makes a world of difference. And the industry is really starting to pay attention. The data shows that a full 50% of designers are now focused on accessibility right from the very start of a project. That's huge. It's not just some box you check at the end anymore. It's becoming a foundational part of how things get made. Okay, so what happens when you smash these two huge forces together, all the power of AI, guided by the principles of accessibility? Well, you get a really clear picture of which design trends are on the rise and which ones are, getting left behind. So, on the out list, we're seeing flashy trends like glassmorphism start to fade away. And what's popping up instead? These smart, organized layouts called Bento Grids. The whole AI as a gimmick thing is being replaced by the real-world usefulness of AI as a collaborator. And those overly complicated visuals, they're giving way to a clean, simple look that actually performs well. Let's take that glass morphism trend, that frosted glass, see-through look. It's a perfect case study. Why is it fading out? Because it often fails that exact WCAG contrast role we just talked about. It puts looking a certain way ahead of being actually usable, and it can make text a nightmare to read. It's a classic example of a trend that just doesn't fit with where we're headed. So what's taking its place? Well, one super popular choice is the Bento Grid. Yeah, it's inspired by those Japanese bento boxes, and it's kind of like organized chaos in the best possible way. It's amazing for showing all different kinds of content together, so it feels structured, but also dynamic and way more engaging than a boring old grid. When you step back and look at all of this, AI agents, accessibility rules, new layouts, you start to realize they're all pointing in the same direction. This is about so much more than just making apps look prettier. This is about designing a future that might not even need a screen at all. And that, ultimately, is the real goal here. It's not just about getting more advanced tech for the sake of it. It's about making our digital world feel more natural, more helpful, and fundamentally, just a little more human. And sometimes, the most human-friendly interface is no interface. This is what's leading us toward this idea of zero UI, where we're not just clicking and tapping anymore. And it's already happening. You see it with the conversational voice commands on the Rabbit R1, the way you navigate with your hands and eyes on the Apple Vision Pro, and even screen-free devices like the Humane AI Pin. So this brings us to one last big question. We started this whole thing talking about our screens becoming collaborators. But as that collaboration gets deeper, as it gets more predictive, maybe even invisible, how is that going to fundamentally change our relationship with technology itself? That's the big question that designers and really all of us are going to be answering next.